You know what really sucks? Not getting a sequel to one of your favorite games. What's going on? I'm Ty, and today I want to talk about spiritual successors. They're not always sequels in a traditional sense, but they at least give us a glimpse into what we could have gotten with a sequel, and as fans, gives us something to look forward to. Because we don't always get the games that we want, but occasionally we'll find something that's just similar enough that it captures that same spirit. So today, let's talk about what makes a spiritual successor and what happened with a sequel to Mario RPG. So, for those that are uninitiated, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is a phenomenal introductory to JRPGs. It was made by Square back before their Enix days and when they were in the good graces of Nintendo. This means it was on the Super Nintendo, and more specifically, it was one of the last games made by Square before they jumped ship over to PlayStation. The reason that we never got a sequel to this game is multifaceted, but to boil it down, it really comes down to Square owning some of the characters and worlds in the game, like Geno and Malo, for example, but also that it would require them to work with Nintendo, who they were not cooperating with at the time. That doesn't mean we didn't get something that resembled a sequel eventually. On the N64, there was not really many JRPGs. I'm looking at you, Quest 64, and that means that a lot of us that were huge fans of Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, and Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo were kind of left out in the lurch. But we ultimately got something in the likes of Paper Mario. However, other than Paper Mario on the N64, which was a spiritual successor of sorts to Mario RPG, I actually don't have much experience in this realm. So I'm going to drag in a buddy of mine from
Hello and welcome back to How to Game... Hang on a second. Where am I? This isn't my channel. Tyler, what have you done?
Let's see what Jim has to say about this.
Thanks, Ty. So when we talk about spiritual successors... Spiritual? No, I can't say it. I can't say it. So when we talk about a spiritual successor of Mario RPG, we'd automatically think, well, Paper Mario from the Nintendo 64. But the game series went in a different route later on after Thousand Year Door, which a lot of fans weren't particularly happy with, to the point when the indie company named Moonsprout Games actually created their own spiritual successor called Bug Fables. Even so, there is still one game series that has always stuck to its roots, leading back to Mario RPG, and that is the Mario and Luigi games, particularly the first one, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So this game originally released back in November 2003 on the Game Boy Advance, and was actually later remastered on the Nintendo 3DS back in October 2017. So the game actually opens up with two brand new characters called Cacaletta and Fulful, disguised as ambassadors from the Bean Kingdom, which is a neighbouring kingdom from the Mushroom Kingdom, coming to Peach's castle to steal Peach's voice. Then later on you have Bowser coming along to try and kidnap Princess Peach. Mario and Luigi appear, they have a little bit of a fight, and the three of them join forces to try and save Princess Peach's voice from the evil sorceress Cacaletta. So this is a completely different kingdom, so all the enemies that you fight are completely new designed characters, all based off beans. So the focus of the actual controls of the game is that in battles you control both Mario and Luigi at the same time, where you would take a turn as Mario, do an attack, be it a simple attack with a jump or hammer strike, and also with the combat, sticking with the Mario RPG style, You have timed button presses to either do extra damage, to make sure it actually hits the target, or even just for dodging. So this is actually personally my favourite Game Boy Advance game of all time. I enjoyed it immensely when I was younger, playing through the story. The gameplay was absolutely fantastic, and all the new characters they introduced. Cacaletta particularly being my favourite character created in the game, who I really hope they bring back in some kind of form in a future Mario and Luigi game, or even just a Mario game. So the series of games then moved over to the Nintendo DS with Partners in Time, which was a bit of a trippy game. They go back and team up with their baby selves, and Bowser teams up with his younger self as well. And then afterwards you had Bowser's Inside Story, which again was a very wacky story. So the whole game was you being inside Bowser, who had, from memory, like a virus or something, and you journey through to help him out. And after that, the Mario and Luigi series jumped over to the 3DS with Dream Team, which was based off going through Luigi's nightmares and trying to help Luigi out. And then interestingly, they did another 3DS game called Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which was an inclusion of the Paper Mario character in the Mario and Luigi Saga games. So they combined the two mechanics that Paper Mario was using at that time. And then after that, they then remade Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, as well as Bowser's Inside Story. So yeah, Mario and Luigi, clearly the spiritual successor to Mario RPG. Back to you, Ty.
Thanks a lot, Jim, for filling that out, and definitely check out How to Game Differently. I got a link down in the description below.
So Ty, when are you going to do that video about the best pipes in video games? Because, you know, your channel name's called Down the Warp Pipe.
Well, I'll actually get around to doing that, Jim, when you get around to talking about how to play a game differently.
Ah, touché.
Maybe you want to try playing Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller like someone's done before?
And thanks for letting me ramble on about one of my all-time favourite games, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah, I thought so. And don't forget to check out How to Game Differently. I've got a link down in the description below. Great channel over there, lots of fun videos, and we actually just did a collab talking about Nintendo E3 predictions for this year, or whatever you want to call it, I guess a Nintendo Direct around the time of E3 this year. I hope that the Mario and Luigi games do eventually get ported over to the Switch, or maybe a new game in that series comes out. Regardless of that though, let me know also down in the comments below, what were some spiritual successors that you really liked? Something like BioShock, which was kind of a spiritual successor to System Shock, or maybe there's something that we totally missed here. Regardless of that, make sure to hit subscribe if you like what you've seen, and check out some of the other videos on Down the Warp Pipe or How to Game Differently, and I'll see you next Games Tuesday.